Yo, what is up guys, welcome back. Today this video is going to be the BIKC Regional Finals. Let me tell you guys this right now, this video is going to be a very entertaining video to watch. The moves done in this video were crazy, my pace was all over the place all race long, drama with karts, drama with different drivers, so sit back and enjoy the video. So if you guys didn't watch the first part of the BIKC local finals, I came third in that race. I worked together with my friend Mason and we went from second and third to finishing second and third. So yeah, that's how I got to regionals. What you're watching here is my qualifying lap, which was a 32.0. Now, I know it sounds like I make a lot of kart excuses, but it turns out this was one of the worst karts on the day. So it finished me in P10, so I have my work cut out for this heat. As you can see, I start miles back because these guys are absolutely jumping the start. I go round the outside of two drivers, but I can't make it past the second driver here. The driver in orange gets taken out from behind, so that moves me up one place into P9. So here I'm tucking in behind kart, is that 24? I believe it is. So yeah, I'm just tucking in behind kart 24. Here I'm just defending my position so I don't get overtaken again. I'm checking behind again just to see where he is, and you can see he's got back past Ethan in the green suit. So here, as you can see, look at the way they just got me. That is a huge weight issue. This is my issue I'm facing in this championship, the BIKC. There's no weight categories for the junior category, so I'm going in with a huge disadvantage into regionals, with me being 100 kg and most of these kids being under 60 kg. So most of these kids have at least 30 kg on me, so it's a big struggle. So yeah, once again, as you can see, they're just gapping me on the straight by miles. This is a recurring theme throughout the video. I've had this issue throughout the whole of my karting career so far. I will be working on that soon. I will be trying to cut the weight down for next year, but off from that, I've caught up quite a bit because I am very quick through the corners, but I keep clattering that barrier there. Do this quite a bit throughout the day, but I sort of figure it out towards the end. This is because the compound on these karts right now are hard tyres, and when I was practicing we were on soft tyres, so yeah, it felt a little bit unnatural. But here the driver goes down my inside. I wasn't too happy about the move, but it's whatever. I just push on and I try to catch up towards the end of the heat. So at this point, going through my head now, I was saying to myself, is this the true showing of my actual pace? So at this point I've got a lot of things going through my mind right now, like, am I not going to make it to nationals this year? My aim going into this was to make history of the BIKC, to be the first heavyweight in the junior category to actually make it to nationals. So yeah, that was what was going through my head mostly throughout this heat here. But yeah, so what I was saying to myself was, I need to get my head out of the gutter, I need to push harder and actually show what I have in my back pocket. So once again, I clatter the barrier there, but as I said, I do figure this out towards the end of the day. So as you can see here, I haven't actually used my boost yet at the beginning of the straight, because I said to myself, why don't I try and use it on the up ramp where I'm losing most of my time on the lap, which actually didn't work out. When I was using my boost on the bottom of the up ramp, I wasn't actually gaining as much time as I would be using it on the beginning of the straight. So once again, towards the end of the day, I figured this out and I became much faster. So you're gonna have to bear with me on this one. I'm starting to get dropped quite a bit here, but I think I do figure it out towards the end of the day. or towards the end of the heat, sorry. But here the driver gets spun around because he gets way too late on the brakes, trying to go down the inside of the driver ahead, and the driver ahead leaves no space, which I think was, well, perfectly fine because he wasn't 50% alongside. But as you can see here, they're pulling a huge gap on the yellows, which I'm not very happy with because I was, well, sort of keeping up with them a bit. So I do get my head down and I actually do catch the driver ahead. So once again, now I'm using my boost button on the straight and I'm complaining to the BIKC marshal there that is marshalling the event. So yeah, here I'm perfecting my lines quite a bit. So I've sort of said to myself, one, I take this time to perfect my lines quite a bit more and get used to the hard tyres, because there's quite a bit of understeer through the front, on the front end of these karts. Because some drivers here had the advantage of practicing after they changed the tyres, and I had the disadvantage of practicing on the soft tyres. So it did take quite a bit of practicing, but after a few laps of me getting my head down, I've actually caught the driver ahead. So yeah, me and the driver behind decided to work together to try and catch this driver, and he turned out to have an issue with his kart. So it does play quite a big role around Brighton if you have an issue with your car. As you can see, or as you saw in my qualifying session, sorry, I did pull one of the worst karts on the day and the day after. No driver liked driving the car I was in. The best time it did on the day was a 31.7. So yeah, that's a really appalling time, to be honest. The time it did in that race that someone did was actually slower than almost all of my sessions beside my qualifying session. So yeah, I didn't pull the best car ever, but it's whatever. I just push on and I don't really complain about it too much. But here, the driver in a kart 24, as I said, it had an issue, so his front end completely snaps off. So after waiting under red flags for like 4 minutes here for them to swap out the kart, he decides to overtake me and the driver in orange under the reds. So I wasn't too happy with this, of course, but we do get closed back together and we get put back in the positions we were in. So here, this is the final lap, so I'm saying just send it, and I go round his outside because I have a better reaction, and I put on the boost. Tried to go around the outside and the driver in green, but I just couldn't pull it off, and there is a free position for me. So I hold my position, and yeah, that's pretty much what I did. So I'm thinking through my head here, can I capitalize on a move? I tried to go down the inside, but I just don't have the confidence to do it yet. I think about going down the inside here, but I just go against my decision and I finish the heat in P7. So I did climb 2 positions, but a driver in front did get a penalty for a dirty move in the earlier part of the heat. So heat 2 now, once again starting in P10, and I've got my finger on this boost button here. This is my tactic throughout the day. Once again, they just pull ahead on the straight, and I'm not very happy with it. But I tried to go around the outside once again, but I just can't pull it off. So I'm going to go back to my racing line because Ethan has shown no threat to me because we are working together because we do come from the same track. So here, these two are scrapping quite a bit, and I think about it, and I gain the confidence to just go back down the inside of the driver in orange. So that was a brilliant move, probably the best move I did today. But we're now going back on the rear end of the driver in front once again. So here, I press the boost quite a bit late, and he just goes for a send down the inside. So I'm going to go down his inside here. I slightly missed the apex a bit, but I fully believe that was a clean move because I did capitalize on his move, and I was 90% alongside, so I was completely clean, and he should have given me more space. So here now, I'm chasing down the driver in orange or red, whatever suit that is. But yeah, so the competition on this day was fairly tough, with the front end being really close together. But oh, here I do get a warning for that, which I'm not really happy about, but it is whatever, I just push on. So yeah, what I was saying was the competition on the day was very tough at the front end. The mid pack was sort of spread apart a bit, and the rear end was just all over the place, where I was put at the rear of the pack, which I don't think was sort of actually proving of my pace at all, because of course I was at least 3 to 5 tenths quicker throughout the day. So here once again I'm chasing down the driver in orange, but he just fully pulls a humongous gap due to his weight, and he is absolutely gone. I have a lot of friends in this. I'm friends with drivers. I'm friends with the drivers that came second and third throughout the day, Mason and Lawrence. They were chasing down a driver called Bobby McGeer. If you guys know him, he's a BIKC nationalist. He sort of switches on the kart mid-session and just completely gaps people on the exit, which is crazy to think about. But he goes, the driver ahead goes for a brilliant move down the inside of the driver in green, and I'm thinking the driver in green has got an absolute stinker of a kart, which is kart 28, which actually turns out to be the worst kart on the fleet on both Saturday and Sunday. Kart 20 did turn out to be the second worst kart of the day, of both days, sorry. So here I'm thinking about it. I've pressed my boost button and we're equal on the straight, so I'm not complaining too much. But I think the only reason we're equal on the straight because he's in kart 28. But yeah, so he breaks a bit on the apex because I believe kart 28 had a really weird steering issue, and apparently it smelled really bad. Like, it smelled like copper, apparently. It smelled like electrical. It smelled like an electrical fire, apparently, according to Tony Morgan. His YouTube name is T-Mog. You can just search him up and he'll come up, of course. So here the driver in green thinks about sending it down the inside. He thinks against it. I was also thinking of going down the inside of the driver in green, but I just decided against it once again. But due to weight here, the driver ahead, the driver behind just completely tapped my rear end on the up ramp, which is just crazy to think about how big of a difference there was in under acceleration. Because I originally thought in electric the gap wasn't actually too big, but it's the complete opposite in electric. To be honest, it's better than petrol, but there is still quite a big gap, which is going to be a tough one throughout the day, but we will push on. So once again, pushing after the driver in green, because I do want to finish higher throughout the day, because as I said, my qualifying position did not determine where I should have finished, to be honest. So here, of course, he gets a poor exit because of his kart, and I think about going down the inside. I just decide against it, and the driver behind bumps me from the rear end because the driver in green is defending. So I'm thinking about going down the inside. I decide against it again because I still haven't got that confidence yet. Because when I've been practicing, I've actually just been practicing doing timed laps. I haven't done any races here yet, so I've done barely any overtaking. So of course it's going to take me a while to adapt to overtaking here, because down at Edmonton I have made an overtake happen through every single corner, but here it's just a bit of a struggle because the corners are so tight. But once again on that straight he fully gaps me on the top end. I'm still unsure about that, but I just go down his inside and I press the boost button on the exit just so I can get that edge on the up ramp, and that is P7. He bumps me on from the rear ends, which I'm kind of annoyed about because there's no point in bumping me through there, because that can just ruin both of our races. So here now, I've got quite a big gap to the driver ahead. So yeah, this is going to be quite a big struggle to catch up, because the weight difference is huge between me and him. I'm pretty sure he weighs like 45 kg or something, so that is way less than half of what I weigh. So it's gonna be a big struggle to try and keep up. But my cornering speed and my cornering technique is actually pretty good. So you might be able to see on my steering wheel, it's flashing blue, and I'm not sure if you can notice, but I've got more grip through the corners. Now this is because my speed is actually decreasing, and I'm really confused about it, because I know in my head I have the pace to catch up to the driver in front, and I just get distracted by the flashing button on my wheel and I lock up my brakes. So here I'm getting absolutely no oversteer through the corners, and I'm super confused. I'm pressing the boost button in desperation, and it's not working. So I'm constantly slamming the wheel because I'm just furious, and I'm thinking, have the staff accidentally turned down my speed? Like, I don't know what's really going on, but it actually turned out my kart was dying. So at this point, I'm having to really push through every single corner just so I don't lose too much time, because I do have at least 2 drivers on my rear end trying to overtake me. So I'm thinking in my head right now, am I going to have to pull off a defensive masterclass? Which is actually what I turned out to do. I'm taking a normal line for now, but as you can see, once again, having no oversteer through these corners, I can take almost all of them flat out, which is not normal for this track. Most corners are a small lift mid-corner, but this is completely flat with 0 oversteer nor understeer. Like, I'm barely having to turn for these corners here, which is not a normal characteristic because the front end is really slidey. So they still have quite a big gap to me from behind, so they're not there yet, but they are there now. So I'm thinking in my head, I have to go defensive now, because I do not want to be losing positions, because at this point I'm really far down the pack, and any more positions lost will mean that I might not even make it to the final. Well, I do make it to the final, sorry, but I really don't want to start too far down. But I'm just getting really annoyed because I'm losing more top speed every single lap. As you can see, he's got a huge boost on me, even in kart 28 of all karts. So that is really big. So now I'm having to take extremely tight lines against the apex just so they don't send it down my inside. He's got a bit of a compromised exit due to me being defensive. So I take a normal line here, and I'm completely overshooting the corner just so I can get to the apex before him. So now I've completely switched my head to defending. As you can see, there's 2 drivers behind me now, and I'm not sure if you saw that, but that is the last lap board right there. So I'm really sticking to these apexes now, just so he doesn't get that exit speed, nor does he get that entry speed on me. And he's bumping me on the up ramp, which means he's got a huge boost on me on the straights. And now I'm taking huge defensive lines, and it goes yellow. So I'm unsure what this yellow flag is about. I believe the 2 drivers behind did have a collision, but my kart is just deciding to accelerate like an absolute slug under yellow, so I'm slamming my wheel in just frustration. You guys, I'm pretty sure, can understand my frustration, but I do finish that heat in P7. So now for the semi-final, starting in P7, because I finished in P7 in both heats and I had a faster lap than the other person that was equal on points with me. So this kart here was the best kart I've had all day. This kart felt like an absolute dream to drive, kart 13, and I go round the outside of the driver in green. Now I'm chasing down Max once again. If you guys don't know him, he's also from my local track, so we were planning on working together. Here you can see I'm gaining huge speed under braking, gaining huge time under braking, sorry, because I'm so confident on the brakes. Because I have experimented with all types of braking in these karts. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this footage yet, but I don't believe I've posted it, but I completely locked up on my first lap in electric karts. It was the 3rd lap I've done, no, not the 3rd lap, the 3rd corner even I've done in electric karts, and completely spun it into a wall, which is the first time I've ever done that because the brake was so sharp. I'm not sure if you guys know, but my local track does have really old karts, so the brakes are really worn out, but these are magnetic based, I believe, so they just go from 0 to 100 really quickly if you slam it down. So it was really tough to adapt to it, but once I adapted to it, I was extremely confident on the brakes. But here now, the kart handles like it did in the last heat. 0 oversteer and almost 0 understeer. So I go straight down the inside of Max, so I believe I have more pace than him. And I'm going after Jacob Jarman now. Throughout the day, me and Jacob had fairly sort of equal pace throughout the day. In this race, I know he went faster than me, but I was way more consistent. So I did catch up to the rear of him quite a bit. But here it's under yellows and they are deciding to speed. So once again, I'm not very happy. I know you're really eager under yellows, but come on, don't speed under yellows. It's not a members event, it's the BIKC Regional. So next time, just don't speed under yellows and we'll be all good. But we've gone to green now, and I've gotten a better reaction than all of these guys here, so I've closed up to the back of them pretty much. I've closed up to the back of them quite a bit, sorry. So, yeah, under the straights, I'm not sure if you can notice it from this far back, but he's just gone under acceleration. Now I have closed up quite a few laps. Now, I believe it was like 4 or 5 laps, something like that, and I did catch up towards the end. Now I haven't used my boost yet because I was actually maxing out at that point, so there was no point in pressing the boost button. But with the boost button, not sure if you guys know, it only helps with your acceleration, and well, these karts are on speed 3, so you do top out like towards the end of the tunnel. So I press it here now on the exit, and I get a better exit as I did last lap because I did use the boost on this lap. But they're still gapping me under the straight. So 2 laps later, after using the boost for both laps now, once again he's just gone under the straights, and I've pressed the boost button and it still doesn't work. So nothing I can do will help me get a better exit because Jacob is really small, and well, yeah, that's really it, to be honest. I'm catching up through every single corner here, which is what I've spent my year and a half of karting doing, perfecting my cornering and my braking, so I can catch up to these juniors. But here I've caught up quite a bit under the 2 hairpins towards the back, and he's just gone under the straight, absolutely gone. I don't even know if he pressed the boost button that time, but he just disappeared. So it's a big struggle for me. As you can see, I believe that's Callum Eve and Callum Oatley. Callum Oatley is a BIKC driver, so I do want to kind of beat him. I don't have anything against the BIKC drivers, but all I know is that the BIKC drivers are the people I want to beat to make myself actually good at karting. So here, Jacob gets a huge speed boost on Callum Oatley. So he's going to try and go down his out. He tried to go down his inside, sorry, through turn 1. And, yeah, it didn't really work out. He just bumped him through the rear. But all these guys are way lighter than me, so they're just gapping me over the bridge. But I've caught up quite a bit under braking here, as I do every single lap. So I'm almost latching onto the back of these guys now. I've pressed the boost button, once again coming through that tunnel, and I've closed up to the back of Jacob for the first time throughout this heat and the day. So now I'm going to try and overtake him. I think about going down the inside, but I'm nowhere near him. I'm going to try go down his inside here, and he completely cuts me off. So I brake, and I accidentally tap his rear. In that situation, I fully believe I was in the right there. Nothing wrong with that move, but I just had to back out of it because he completely cut across, and I don't want to be getting myself a penalty. So far I've gone from 7th to 5th, so I do want to get to 4th because I do want to maximise my chance of making it to BIKC Nationals. Yeah, once again I'm gaining huge time through these corners sequences here, and upstairs he's just gone once again. Coming through under braking, I take that early apex and I completely wash out by accident because I slide my rears, but I've caught up once again, so I'm thinking about trying to get that move done, but I just can't because I don't have the boost. So I'm going to save the boost now for later on in the lap, I believe. So I'm barely even steering through turn 1, and this car is just sticking to the ground, so it feels like an absolute joy to drive. So I'll tell you now, this is this was my fastest race of the day with a 31.5, I believe. But Callum Eve goes completely defensive through that downhill left-hander. Jacob tries going for a switchback on Callum Oatley, but he just can't pull it off. So I've pressed the boost button, I'm trying to get past, and I just can't do it. So they're fighting again, so I'm going to think of going down the inside, but I just can't do it because he gets that more boost of speed. And I think about going down the inside, but I think against it now because I know Jacob might not be too aware of me trying to go down his inside at this point. So I think against it because I do not want to pick myself up a penalty. So at this point here, I think I got shown a penalty board at the beginning of the session due to the move I did on Max, which wasn't actually my penalty. I edged my kart forward to get that ultimate lap time, hoping that someone ahead actually does get a penalty, which doesn't actually happen. So here I go to fist bump Jacob, and the marshal tells me I've gotten a good drive, and I'm absolutely buzzing with that. As you can see, fist wave there. But it's time for the A final, the one that really counts. I'm starting all the way down in P9, so this really is going to have to be the race of my life. And these guys get a jump on me here because of all the bumpers behind, and I'm a bit distracted. So I go down the inside of Tiggy, and Jacob gets accidentally hit by me. I'm sorry for that, but I back out of it, so no penalty for me. And I push on more. I think about going down the inside of Jacob, but he closes it off, which is completely fine for him. That move was not on entirely, but these guys absolutely get at me over the bridge, and you see there, that is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. So that is where I do want to be, because I'm now in 8th. I am going to have to overtake 4 more drivers to get in those BIKC qualifying spots. Now I do cut ahead now because it was just me hot lapping trying to catch up to the back of Jacob, but I do catch up to the back of him because they're fighting so much, and I go down the inside of Jacob here, completely clean move, and I don't think Jacob was too happy with that, as you'll see in a bit, because he tries to take his revenge, or quote unquote revenge, which was, well, I don't know why he was trying to go for revenge because it was the final race, but I fully understand it. You do want a better position, but it was a clean move. It was a clean move in my opinion. But he goes down my inside, completely pushes me wide. But he was over 50% alongside, so it was completely clean in my opinion. But you're seeing here, I'm getting bumped quite a bit from behind. I think I've got 3 or 4 drivers behind me, so yeah, that's a lot of pressure from the rear end, as you could imagine. So I'm sliding around quite a bit because I am taking quite a bit to adapt to this car. So I am probably going to skip forward now, and at this point Jacob completely clatters this barrier here, and I go down the inside to capitalize on that position, and I make a clean move down his inside. So now it's just going to be me trying to pull away from Jacob and catch up to the rear end of the pack. I skip forward once again because well, yeah, I'm just going to show a couple highlights, of me trying to catch up to the back of the pack, because I do, of course, once again want to make it to those national positions, but I don't see it happening because look at that humongous gap to the rest of the pack. The driver I'm chasing down now is Ronnie Chambers, a friend of mine, so if I do catch up to him, it'll be a very nice battle to have. Now, at the end of the session, me and him actually end up with the exact same lap time. So now, as you can see, it looks as if my car is dying once again, which I'm not too happy with because this is the final. So I'm having to defend now from Jacob because he is going to try to go down my inside. I don't allow it though. They're completely defensive once again, not having any of it, not letting him get a single whiff of my inside, because he will go straight down into a gap if he sees one. So I'm tapping my steering wheel here because I'm just absolutely fuming with the fact that my car is dead. Now I'm having to take a really tight line through this hairpin here, because if anyone's got as much confidence as I do on the brakes, they'll just go straight down my inside if they smell a gap. Now here, those top 3 have completely broken away from the rest, and it is the final lap of the race. So I'm tapping my brake here just to get that bit of rotation through the first hairpin. But you're seeing now me edging my car forward because I feel a dramatic speed decline just because of my battery. My battery is completely drained now, so I'm probably running on like 20 to 10% of battery left. So the car is now going into energy saving mode. So these guys are really on my rear end now, and I've pressed the boost button for one final time, and I come across the line in P7 with a lap time of a 31.536. So now I want to thank you all for joining me on my BIKC journey. It looks like it comes to an end here now. So I've been Calum, or K Karting.
I always come back.